Hey everybody, it's Jasmine and today I'm here to show you guys my eyebrow routine. Even though I have several on my channel already, you guys keep continuing to ask me what my brow routine is, and I honestly implement them in a lot of my makeup tutorials, but just for easy access I wanted to make this video specifically for you guys who request it. And so I hope you guys really enjoy this brow routine video. Obviously I'm using my favorite products as you see in a lot of my videos, but let's just get started. Okay, so let's get into the brows. Now there are two methods that I like to do for my eyebrows. They're not that much different from each other, but it's worth mentioning since I have two brows, two methods, you know what I mean? So for the first eyebrow, I'm going to be taking the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown. And I have a couple of videos where I compare the dip brow to other products, but this has been my tried and true since junior year of high school, so it's just appropriate for me to use this. Just before I go in with any type of product though, I like to brush my brow hairs out with the ShopMissA E119 spoolie. This is actually one of my favorite spoolies on the market. I've tried a lot high-end drugstore. I just find that the ShopMissA one is my favorite in texture just because it's very soft and it doesn't scratch my skin. Here's what my brow pomade looks like, and I'm going to be using my Sigma E65 brush, and I'm just going to take just a very small bit of the little corner right here, and I like to evenly coat my brush. So since I hit pan, I actually use that part to kind of comb through the product into my brush, and I'm just going to take my little handheld mirror here. And what I like to do, I like to start at the arch on the underside of the brow. And mind you, every single time I do my brows, they're never perfect. But I mean, y'all have been requesting for me to do a brow routine video, so here it is, don't clock me. So I like to just fill in the outer portion first, and then I work my way in with the remaining product. So it kind of just underlines the brow. I took a little bit more product and I'm just going to go ahead and do the top part of my brow. And I like to start at the arch again and just work my way down and then fade my way in. Now once I've done that, I'm not going to go back into the pot to grab more product. I'm actually just going to take whatever is on the brush and start at the outer end and then work my way in. So basically the pomade for me is a base for the brow powder that I like to use. Obviously you don't have to use brow powder, but it's just a way for me to kind of ensure the longevity of my brow product, and it's just going to help with the ombre effect. So since I actually don't have any face makeup on, it makes it easier for me to spoolie out my brows because I can be as messy as I want. Lazy hack. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in with my spoolie again, and I want the front part of my brow to be more lighter than the tail end of my brow because I like the ombre brow look. And so I'm just gonna go in to my brows like this, fade it in, and then when I get towards the tail, I kind of just skim over it a little bit like that because I'm going to go in with powder anyway. I did used to use the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo, but I found that that one was pretty expensive for the amount of product that I got. Plus I was using the color Ebony and I found that the undertone wasn't necessarily the one for me, and so I actually discovered the Sigma Brow Powder Duo in the shade Dark, and this one is the perfect undertone. It has more of, I want to say, like a neutral to cool undertone, so it matches my hair as opposed to my skin. So say I'm trying to get my Instagram brow. I don't really know what an Instagram brow is anymore. Everyone has their own brow shape, but I like to use my Sigma E75. Now this one is a little bit different from the other Sigma brush that we used earlier. So I find that the E75 is a little bit more thinner and it's a little bit more precise. So I'm just going to use this to fill in my brow with the brow powder. So I'm going to take the lightest shade here and I'm going to run this through my entire brow. Now I like to start at the outer end again, kind of just fill in the sparse areas, and kind of towards the middle of my brow here, that's kind of when I want to do the upward strokes in my brow. To be honest, I don't really spend a lot of time on my brows, so just me talking through on how I do it may seem like it's a bit of a hassle, you know, a long process, but I assure you I could get my brows like filled in like a minute. And then very rarely I'll go in with the dark brown shade, and this kind of acts as like my definer shade. So if I want to define any hairs in the front, then I'll go in with a darker shade. If I want to deepen up the tail, I'll go in with a darker shade. So I'm going to do a little bit up here towards the arch, and then maybe a little bit here towards the middle, and then I'm not going to go all the way to the front. For concealer, I have the Colourpop No Filter Concealer in the shade Light 20, and I'm just going to apply this under my brows. I honestly just use whatever concealer just because it gets covered up anyway. I don't really see like a huge difference, in all honesty, in what concealer I use. So for my concealer brush, I have the ShopMissA E119. This is in their All About Eyes set. And I also have other brushes very similar to this. I have these ones that are No Name by Beige Cosmetics. I think that in a lot of eye brush kits, you usually get a concealer brush in there. I mean, it's not anything special really. And so I'm just going to take this color and I'm going to cut my brow, and I like to just follow the natural shape of my brow when I do this. And this is just going to clean up any colors that maybe we spoolied out of line or that we filled in the wrong places. To blend the lines of the concealer, this is my favorite blending out concealer brush. This is also by ShopMissA. This is their high def brush in E108, and this is like a little double wedge brush. And around the edges, I'll just go in and then just blend out the color. It's so easy with this brush. I always pack it everywhere. And that's basically all that it is for the filling in part. Now sometimes I'll go in with a brow gel, sometimes I won't. Depends on if I remember or not. So one of my favorites is actually the Glossier Boy Brow. I have the shade Clear, and this does come out white, but I mean, you don't really see it throughout the brow. So I like to just comb my hairs up, and it will make it look like, you know, it's not so filled in. You know what I mean? It's just going to make it look like, oh, that's like her natural brow is really that dark. Now this is my good eyebrow. This right here, we need to talk with her because she never cooperates. So usually when I have uncooperative brows, I like to just fill in my brows pretty messily, you know, pretty quick out the door. So again, I'm going to use the Dip Brow as a base for my brow powder. It's just, I don't really like brow pencils, if you're wondering. I find that they're just not my cup of tea because I like a full coverage brow. So I've kind of just messily did the same thing. I lined the underside of my brow, but instead of just lining the top, I actually just extended the color up from the bottom portion of my brow, and then I'm just, you know, messily filling it in, making sure that this area right here is not too dark. And then I'm just going to brush the color up since a lot of the color was focused on the bottom portion of my brow. And normally when I'm running out the house and I need my brows, I'll take a really big brow brush. This is by Real Techniques. This is one of their brushes from their eye starter set, I believe. And it's just a really thick brush that's angled. And I like to just take both colors at this point. And then I'll start at the outer end and I'll work my way in with the colors. And this is just going to give me a quick ombre brow. Now I would sometimes just conceal and go, but since I want to actually match these brows, I'm going to add the fake hairs again. So I'm just going to take the light brown shade in the powder, and I'm just going to start at the end and try and match the two brows together. So again, with the concealer, just apply a little bit onto the skin and then take that flat brush and go at it. I feel like someone's going to ask, I get my eyebrows threaded, but I haven't gone to get them threaded in like a year up until like last week. And so that's my life. I just keep them maintained from the last time I get them done. I also get a lot of questions on how I grow out my eyebrows. In all honesty, my eyebrow hairs just grow back really fast. I'm very blessed with that. So I really can't help you when it comes to serums, anything like that, you know what I mean? Because mine grow out naturally. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this side looks a little bit more boxy. So to fix that, I'm going to take my spoolie and I'm just going to spoolie out the front right here. Obviously, I brought the color in right here, so with that concealer buffing brush, I'm just gonna go over that and see, now it looks a little bit more ombre-ed. And we're gonna go in with that brow gel. Alright you guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed this brow routine video. Let me know what kind of video you want to see next. And as always, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye! Peace out, Girl Scouts.